Streamlining Vacation Homes is based in Gloucester, Massachusetts on the North Shore of Boston. It's a family business. My mom founded it over 40 years ago, and my sister Michelle and I have been part of it now full-time for 10 years. We have about 75 short-term rentals, about 10 full-time people, plus a lot of seasonal staff and housekeepers. We launched Enso a year ago in an effort to improve our guest communication. And then since then, we've used it to add on in a number of areas. Yeah, we were having issues with our guest communication between emails, texts, and calls. It was getting complicated with different systems that we had. So we wanted a better way to streamline our communication with guests and improve, especially our text messaging, and to have things in one stream so that texts and emails could be seen together. So Enso really jumped in to us for that, really helped us there, so that now we have just that one kind of stream of consciousness with messaging, and it really improved our ability to communicate with guests and text them back. We weren't doing a great amount of texting before, so now it's our main form of communication. It's really improved there. It's making it easier to train our team, which is easier to grow and hire. We're also using it for our upsells, so that's adding a lot of ancillary revenue and helping pay for the software itself. We were able to replace a software of a similar cost with Enso and use the upsells in Enso to pay for it. So not only have we improved our customer service, but we're adding revenue to the bottom line at the same time. We're a local company, very hands-on, very involved in the community. We're involved in local organizations. We're well known here as leaders. When we take on a home, when we bring in renters, we want good quality people, good quality houses that are going to be positive members of the community. We really get to know our guests and our homeowners. We're selling experiences. We build relationships, find out who people are, what they like, why they're here, why they come back every time. That's what we strive for with all of our guests. It's to really provide that hands-on experience, not just a bed to sleep in, but the overall experience. Our focus right now is streamlining, making things more efficient, so improving guest communications on that. We want efficiency for our guests, for our owners, and for our staff. So we want to make it really easy for our team to be able to communicate with guests and our guests to be able to communicate with us, get all of the information they need so they don't have to call us when they're busy trying to plan a trip or drive on vacation. They can open their door remotely from their boarding pass with the electronic lock, just things like that that really cut down time. We're not fumbling for codes. It makes everything more efficient. So we're trying to do that across the board while adding more homes that are good quality homes with good quality homeowners that are going to help our community be good stewards of the community and organically grow the business. We had a real customer service issue in 2023. We didn't do a great job, and it wasn't our people not trying hard. We didn't have the right tools in place working efficiently to properly communicate with our guests. And so we definitely felt the repercussions of whether it's missed messages or duplicated messages and just things coming from different channels. So when we looked at Enso and when we were looking for a different product to solve this problem, we wanted something that would be simple and trainable and straightforward for our guests. So with Enso, we were able to fit that in, get it live relatively quickly, and our team up to speed. And we greatly improved guest communication. We heard it from them that it made it a lot easier to work with us and for them to get everything they needed. We looked at a number of different vendors and different options. There isn't a one-size-fits-all for anything in this industry. Some other platforms offered a lot of functionality in other areas that maybe we didn't need. With Enso, it solved a few problems that we weren't necessarily looking to solve. We weren't expecting to change our electronic locks over, but that was a very attractive option to have it rolled into our guest messaging and has made it really easy with the integrations with Yale and Schlage to have our owners still have control over their locks from in there, and we just connect the apps and we have it for our guests. So that has actually been a real time saver and has been really appreciated by a lot of our homeowners. The upsells were not part of our equation when it came to purchasing the software, but once we got going on the messaging, it became clear how useful they were going to be. And that has since been one of the main features of Enso. The other area was guidebooks. Having that tied into the messaging, the electronic locks all made sense. And then the other area we weren't necessarily searching for was our rental agreements. We had to pay before for everyone that went out. And now through Enso, we don't have any extra costs on that. They're getting signed, and it ensures that to get into the house, they have to sign the agreement and do their verification. So it's really made that easy and cleared up customer service areas and made it straightforward for our guests. We had a very good experience in the sales process. Everyone was very professional. The software looked really good. That was an important piece for me, was the user experience on both ends. Some of these products out there, they don't need to be flashy, but they're just a little too dated or old or simple. So we wanted something that we knew was going to be changing with the times and improving and using modern technology. We want to provide a seamless hospitality experience for our guests. And one of the ways we've been able to do that was with the early check-in and late checkout upsells. We were having all the time people calling and reaching out about getting in early. And we were selling ourselves these early check-ins and late checkouts, but it wasn't a great hospitality point that when someone asked about getting in early, that we would tell them there's a charge. I didn't know how that would change with Enso, but once we got that in the boarding pass, we started just getting requests for early check-ins and late checkouts. And so rather than people calling us and being annoyed if we said no, or if we told them it was going to cost money, they would just go right in the boarding pass and put the credit card in and book it. And then we'd approve it or deny it with a nice message either way. And so it made it way easier in our team that they didn't have to field those calls and messages, and then having that automatically filter back to the guest, change at the time on the lock, and get them in at the appropriate time has made it really easy while being a revenue driver. So we were able to turn sometimes negative hospitality experience into a positive one that also brought in revenue. The boarding pass has made it a lot easier for our guests. Being able to just send them a link, something that they don't have to download, they can save to their Apple Wallet, has made it really easy. We definitely get fewer questions at check-in time. And it's been nice to know that for one, their code is going to show up at check-in time, so they're not getting into the house early. They don't even have the code to try, which people used to do in the past. They could get the code and try to get it early and call us when it didn't work. So now they get the code at the appropriate time, they check in, and they have everything they need at their fingertips. We've been able to put in pictures so that they can see what the door looks like, what the house looks like, where to park, where not to park. If there's anything tricky about getting into the house, we're able to put that right there in the boarding pass in the instructions. So it's made it very easy. And I think them having the Wi-Fi code as well in the boarding pass helps a lot. But using Enso's guest sentiment, we were able to do the ask for Google reviews specifically to people we knew had a good stay. And we saw a really positive turnout from that. We ended up getting a lot of all 5-star Google reviews this year, and it was very easy and automated through Enso for them to get that. And if someone maybe wasn't a 5-star guest, they didn't get that ask for it. In the summer, it definitely saves our team hours every week. The messaging, having everything in one place between emails and texts and the automations has made it very easy. One of the areas it saved me the most time is in setting up new houses and setting up the automation so that it's all right there. I can see the guest journey editor and I'm not fumbling with tricky automations and triggers and all these different things. It's very easy to see the automations and the if-then statements in Enso so that I know when everything's going to go out and why. One of the things we weren't necessarily expecting, because upsells were not our main focus, was that we had Enso paid for throughout our entire peak season just by doing early check-in and late checkout fees. Now we're adding more upsells in there with some food deliveries, gap night upsells, that this year we can really make it a money-making effort all year, make enough in our peak season to cover the cost of the software all year. That's especially great because we cut out another piece of software that cost just as much as Enso, but wasn't actually bringing us any revenue. I'm really excited for the new inbox to have the notes feature. The electronic lock integrations have been really, really useful. That's helped our maintenance team and it's helped our owners as well. Maybe already had their own locks or wanted to have some aspect of control on their own, as well as being able to easily connect multiple locks in one house. Some of our homes that are lock-off properties or multiple homes that we can sell together, that's made it really easy to connect those and have the same code across several properties. The biggest benefit for our team has just been the ease of messaging, being able to see what's going on, get all the information of the guests, and see in one place if they've signed their agreement, if they're all verified, and see the messaging and their contact info all in one place makes it really easy to get a good grasp on who the renter is, are they a repeat guest, is everything all set, when are they coming, do they have their info. The integration with Track was very easy, setting up the API key, and it was connected to Track within a few minutes. And the connection actually had stronger features than I expected with what it pushes back into Track with the tags. So that's been very handy. It's been very good. Everyone's been very supportive. When I have questions or need help, I've been able to reach out and get answers and support as needed. who you select to work with is important, and who you work with is just as important as the tool. You want to know that it's going to improve, that when there are challenges and hurdles, there's going to be people there to fix it and make it better. That's part of why we went with Enso. We built that trust and understood where the company was going, and it was going to grow and going to help support our business. And it wasn't just a flash in the pan with a cool toy. It was something that was there to really support us with a focus on helping us grow our business. So that was a big piece in our selection choice with Enso. I would definitely recommend Enso if they need messaging and upsells and guidebooks. Those were definitely the main areas for us, and it helps solve a lot of our problems. We're a locally owned and operated family business, and we're looking to be the best that we can be in our area. We're not here to take over the world. We are here to be the best vacation rental company in the North Shore, Boston, and provide excellent hospitality to our guests, excellent service to our homeowners. And having the right tools to be able to do that is so important. That's why we're very careful in who we work with and what tools and providers we go with. We have that focus on helping our community, our homeowners, and just being good neighbors. So having the right tools to provide the guests that they need with what they need, and to also know that we're protecting our homeowners with verification, with the messaging, and with knowing who's coming in and out of our houses, it really goes a long way to support our vision and our mission here as a local business.